Last time on What If Sonic, Shadow the Hedgehog had made a deal with Neo Metal Sonic. The two of them now working together to lead the Eggman Empire, coming up with a plan to bring the heroes in their hands. Trying to save the supposedly captured Shadow, Team Sonic and Rouge are about to collide. A blue blur dashes down the area, speeding across the massive base, using his speed to destroy lines of defenses in a second, spinning and boosting through the many forces defending this fortified base. Not too far behind, Tails and Amy would take care of what's left from Sonic's offensive, not leaving a bit of Eggman's forces left.
There he goes, always leaving us behind. Only makes me want to chase him more. I'll tell him to converge with us once we find an entrance to the main building.
Tails then turns to Amy, voicing a bit of concern.
You know, with the fact we didn't find a single Chaos Emerald on our journey here, and the stuff Knuckles said, I'm starting to feel a bit uneasy about Eggman's scheme with Shadow. It all feels a bit off. It'll be fine. We're this close to getting Shadow back anyways. With Sonic on our side, we'll be okay. Yeah, but it just seems so unlikely that Shadow would get captured by Eggman of all people. Yeah, I get that, but let's not worry too much right now. We'll figure things out after we defeat Eggman.
Tails nods at his pink friend. She was always so reassuring. The two would run after Sonic, trying to catch up with him. In the meantime, Sonic would come to a screeching halt with the appearance of an egg hammer. The mighty machine would spin its weapon at Sonic, the Hedgehog, jumping and dodging.
I know someone with a hammer too, but she's way more skilled than you, Tin Can.
Sonic would spin around the machine, hitting it bit by bit, but before his finishing blow, he'd be knocked back by a battalion of egg pawns holding blasters.
I doubt any of you metalheads have a license for those guns. Don't worry, I'd be happy to disarm you.
Quickly, Sonic would use his blue tornado attack to take care of these egg pawns in a second, and quickly get back to attending to the egg hammer. With both sets of enemies down, he'd taunt a bit, not noticing a blast being charged from an E-2000 behind him.
Uh-oh.
Bracing for an attack, it would never come, as someone else would take care of this robot.
Rouge would drill down and decimate the enemy, turning to say hi to her ally and give a seductive smile.
Hey there, Big Blue. Fancy meeting you here.
I thought you'd join our party.
Sonic!
Tails and Amy would come running up, greeting Rouge before informing Sonic that they took out the straggling defenses. All that's left is finding a way into the base.
Where's my big red friend?
That Tubbalard didn't want to come. Probably was separated too long from his master emerald.
He'd pass up a date with any beautiful woman to be with that gem. Then again, so would I. What's our plan here, Tails?
Oh, I'll tell you your plan.
Surprised, the group would turn around to see a hovering TV with Eggman's face on it.
You'll all be destroyed by my ultimate creations.
So you finally show yourself, huh? Give it up, Eggface. Where's Shadow?
You're outnumbered, Eggman.
Oh, quite the opposite, my foxy friend.
From the skies above, a group of blowfish transporters would appear, their underside hatches opening, raining down dozens of androids. Shadow androids.
You think if I captured Shadow, I wouldn't use it to my advantage? Now you face my greatest creations, the Shadow Androids.
I've beaten Shadow before. A few hundred of him won't be much harder.
I'll try and figure out a way into the base. You guys gotta keep those androids away from me.
Tails pulls out his Miles Electric and takes cover, ready to fight, but hoping to focus on his plan.
We'll have your back, Tails. Less talk, you guys, and more fighting. Shadow's counting on us.
The group would get encircled by the army of Shadow androids, fighting off wave after wave. They weren't as powerful as the real Shadow, but they weren't a walk in the park either. Several times, Amy would mow down these androids with her hammer, but in response, these mechanical doubles would attempt to get her weapon from her. They were relentless. Similarly, these androids would try to grab Rouge and pull her down while she's flying. Even with Sonic, these androids could counter attacks like the spin dash with their own spin dashes. These robots weren't to be taken lightly. But with enough perseverance, their team destroys a large chunk of them and push the offensive closer and closer to the main base. This is when the final line of attack between them and Shadow would show itself.
You little pests are so annoying. Android after android destroyed. It's better I be the one to crush you, though. Those robots were only the appetizer. I'm here as the main course.
Eggman would come crashing down, piloting the Egg Emperor, teched out with all new weaponry.
You were all so gullible to fall for my threats. Now, I'm going to take the time to enjoy ending each and every one of you, one by one.
Give it up already! We're beating your androids, we're gonna beat this old reused mech, and we're gonna save Shadow. In the next 5 minutes, this'll all be over. Yes, you're right. It'll all be over. The mech starts firing blasts at the group, each one of them avoiding the attacks, but only by a hair. Found a way in yet?
I just about got it. Someone will need to get into the roof exhaust pipes. There's no defenses set up. It should lead you into the main base. I'll go. I don't want my pretty face to get any more ruined than it already is. With my spy skills, Eggman won't even know I'm in.
Fine with me. I'll never pass up a chance to trash one of Eggman's stupid mechs.
I'll hold off the remaining androids. Before you're out, Rouge, we'll have everything done.
Rouge nods at Amy, flying off with the path Tails made for her. Now, it's up to Team Sonic to keep Eggman busy. The Bat would maneuver herself through the battlefield, stealthily making her way to the top of the building with the exhaust pipe, and then kicking down like a drill onto it, and sliding into the ventilation system of Lava Fortress. As soon as she finds an open vent, she kicks her way onto the main hallway, being sure to avoid the attention of patrolling egg pawns and egg troopers. Roaming around the base, she'd make her way to a computer lab, silently taking out the staff inside. Logging onto the computer, she'd find a map of the facility. Looking through the schematics of each floor, she'd find what she was looking for. Bingo, prison cells. Knowing where to go, this agile bat would go back into the vents, crawling through until she can find the prison cells. Back with Team Sonic, Sonic would keep pushing his offensive against the Egg Emperor. For some reason, this fight felt so easy, and it's not like there was no challenge, but to Sonic, it felt like this mech was taking damage way more than it should. Sooner than he thought, the mech would be pushed to its last legs, and Sonic would be right at the cockpit, kicking the thing open. Once again, Eggman, your plan has failed. And have you not been paying people or something? This whole thing has been too easy. I prefer our fights to have at least a little bit of challenge. Come on! The blue hedgehog would give a cocky grin and finger wag, looking down at what seemed to be Eggman, the doctor looking emotionless. A smile would form on his face, and one oddly creepy for even the doctor's standards. What's got you out? Suddenly, the doctor's arm would stretch out, choking the blue blur, gripping much tighter than any normal human. The doctor's hand would suddenly morph into a metallic hand, as the rest of his body would follow suit, melting into the form of Neo Metal Sonic.
I've been waiting all day to do that.
Sonic would kick back at his rival, loosening his grip and sending both of them to the ground in a standoff.
Sonic the Hedgehog, data successfully copied.
Oh, it's you, Tin Can. Back for more, eh? Doctor sending you to do his dirty work.
You're much too ignorant. The doctor is no longer in the equation.
Overthrow him again? He's gotta stop getting himself into these situations.
I agree. Too bad. He's dead.
Sonic looks absolutely flabbergasted at Metal, not able to mutter a word as his mechanical double dashes forward, spin dashing into Sonic, sending him hurling back. Why disguise yourself as the dead then?
I can't give away too much of my plan. I'd much rather fight you.
That makes two of us then. Short on talk, Sonic dashes forward, meeting his match with Neo Metal Sonic, the two fighting with equal power, as if Sonic himself was mirrored. But Sonic isn't gonna fool around. With Eggman dead, he knows things are serious. Back with Rouge, memorizing the pathway to the prison cells from the map, this low-life bat would make her way through the vents, being sure to be quick, but also quiet. Soon enough, she'd reach the ventilation of the prison block, crawling into the only inhabited cell. Jumping down from the ceiling vent, she'd see a half-awake Shadow, cuffed and weak.
Shadow? How could you let yourself be captured by Eggman of all people? You're so reckless. Don't worry, I'll get you out of here.
As she tried to pick the locks on the restraints, Shadow's eyes would bolt up, looking eager, yet somber, as his arms would easily break the cuffs, turning around to Rouge.
You really thought these basic handcuffs could hold me?
What? Shadow?
He then channels energy in his hand, hesitating slightly as he speaks to his former friend in a melancholy tone.
I was hoping it wouldn't be you who'd rescue me, but this had to be done regardless.
Shadow would quickly chop at Rouge's neck, hitting a pressure point and knocking her out. This bat would never have anticipated an attack so powerful, so fast. let alone from Shadow. Quickly, the Hedgehog would restrain her unconscious body and leave the cell, locking it.
Now that the hard part's over, time for the easy part.
Shadow would warp away as we cut back to the fight between Sonic and his robotic rival. Neck and neck, these two would fight, mirroring each other's abilities. Tails and Amy would quickly join in, briefly giving Sonic the upper hand, but leveling the playing field once Metal scans their abilities as well. Now, not only with the abilities of Sonic, but also the power of flight from Tails, and the ability to replicate Amy's hammer, things would even themselves out. But even so, 3 against 1 wasn't good odds for Metal, and with the Shadow androids gone, he'd have only one other thing to rely on. Once again, Tin Can, you're on your last legs. I've whooped your spiky butt before you could conquer anything. You can copy our abilities, but you could never copy teamwork. 'Cause we're Sonic Heroes!
Will you shut up about the superpower of teamwork?
Just in time, Shadow would warp in, kicking Sonic back, as both Tails and Amy would look confused.
Shadow? But where's Rouge? Sonic, are you alright?
Nothing I can't handle, bud. Shadow, what's the deal?
You never cease to surprise me, bringing my ally here to his knees. But my intentions are none of your concern, Blue Hedgehog.
Tails and Amy would both attempt to question Shadow, but the ultimate life form would have none of it, dashing forward at them. Alright, Faker, bring it on!
If you leave this facility, it won't be alive.
The two rivals would clash at the center, neck and neck just like with Metal Sonic. Tails would attempt to assist, but Shadow would grab the fox's face and pummel it to the ground, only enraging Sonic more in the fight. Amy would attempt to help as well, but her hammer would get countered by Metal Sonic's own copy hammer. The battle would be long and difficult, with both Tails and Amy being sent beaten to the side. With just Sonic to focus on, both Shadow and Metal would brutalize the Hedgehog, using their speed to match his, and prevent Sonic from getting the upper hand. With a duo as powerful as this, Sonic would have the toughest battle of his life, but even then, this Hedgehog would never give up, despite being a bloody, bruised, and beaten mess.
You're on your last legs, my loathsome copy. Kneel to your master. I am the real Sonic.
It's over, Sonic. Give up now.
Sonic would look at them, raising his fists, not saying a word, as he'd form his cheeky grin in defiance. Shadow would nod to Metal, who'd nod back, the Hedgehog pulling out the set of 7 Chaos Emeralds.
You were never going to win, Sonic. We just wish to have a bit of fun.
With that cold statement, both Shadow and Metal would go super, ending the fight with Sonic instantly. Even Tails and Amy, who tried to fight on, would be devastated by these super forms. As the battle ends, Shadow and Metal would crush their shoes down on Sonic's face, signifying their victory. And with that and their momentary use of the emeralds, they'd capture the trio of heroes. Just as with Rouge, they'd each be restrained with the sort of cuffs used on Sonic and Sonic Forces, ones that ensured it'd be a hard time to escape, and put in cells, ensuring nobody could get out. As their prisoners lay in their unconsciousness, the two leaders of this empire would once again meet as they discussed the next steps of their plan.
I was hoping for a higher turnout. I'd wish to capture more of Sonic's pathetic allies, but this will do.
Stop being vague. Now, you will tell me why we bothered capturing them, and what exactly your robot-turning weapon is.
Of course, my friend. We'll be using them as test subjects. And if things go right, our strongest warriors.
Test subjects for what?
Metal Sonic walks over to a table with various buttons on it, hitting one of them to project a live feed from the scientific facilities. A microscopic virus being built by the Empire's best.
The doctor called it the Metal Virus.
And that's where we'll be leaving things for right now. What will happen now that not only Shadow and Neo Metal are now working together to lead the former Eggman Empire, but they've also captured both Team Sonic and Rouge? And what does Neo Metal Sonic have planned with the Metal Virus? Find out next time on What If Sonic. Make sure to like and subscribe for more if you want to. And as always, thanks for watching.